Some of my friends on the No campaign have said that this is the biggest change to our constitution in history. Now, I come from a tradition, as I say, where I think we have a good constitution, so most of the time you'll find me on the no case for a referendum. And indeed, in 1999, I was on the no case for the Republic referendum. That was a big change to our constitution. The Republic brought about 69 separate changes to our constitution. By contrast, this is one of the smallest changes to our constitution. We're talking about one new section. That's all this is. So let's read what it says. In recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the first peoples of Australia. 1. There shall be a body to be called the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice. That's the new committee that we're setting up, and that gives this new committee called the Voice a permanent place in our constitution. 2. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice may make representations to the Parliament and the Executive Government of the Commonwealth. The Executive Government of the Commonwealth is just a fancy way of saying public servants and ministers on matters relating to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So what's the job of this new committee? It's to make representations to Parliament, public service and ministers about matters affecting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. It's a chance for us as parliamentarians to listen to Aboriginal people in order to do something to close the gap in education, employment, healthcare and housing. But there's a gap between the performance of the rest of the community and Aboriginal people that is not closing. Doesn't matter who's in government, doesn't matter how much money you throw at it, doesn't matter how much goodwill or bipartisan support is there, we need structural change. Number 3, this is the important part because it reminds us that the Parliament is supreme. The Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, have power to make laws with respect to matters relating to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice, including its composition, functions, powers and procedures. So this is where the Parliament will come up with the detail. So what's the amendment doing? Number 1, it's recognising Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Number 2, it's creating a new committee that's going to be put into the Constitution so we can listen to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on the policies and laws that affect them. Number 3, this is an advisory committee. We, the Parliament, your elected representatives, remain supreme because we can adjust what this body does over time to adapt to changing circumstances. So if it starts and it's not doing the right thing, we can reform it. What we can't do, which has happened previously, is abolish it. We've got to have a body, we've got to allow it to make representations. But how it makes its representations is a matter for the Parliament. And just to put this in a way that is easy for us all to relate to in our own lives, this constitutional law is a tough topic, and what happens in remote communities or even in Canberra is a long way away. I want you to think about the local progress associations that exist here on the northern beaches. Organisations like the Palm Beach, Whale Beach Progress Association or the Avalon Progress Association. What do these organisations do? Every year they have an AGM and they elect people as part of the AGM. They are sort of the local voice, if you like. From time to time, they will make representations to your council about development matters that occur in your area. Often they'll be saying, we don't like the way that the area is changing, we don't like what's happening with the new developments. The council listens to those representations. Sometimes the council adopts them. Sometimes the council rejects them. And other times the council will cherry pick ideas. Whether the council adopts, rejects or cherry picks, the fact of the presence of these community associations means that the council's decision is ultimately better because the council has listened directly to the people affected by the policy that it's going to bring in. The voice is exactly the same concept. The Indigenous life expectancy in this country is 8 years less than the rest of the population. The suicide rate is 2.5 times that of the rest of the population. 1 in 2 Aboriginal Australians are living at or below the poverty line. This is completely unacceptable in a nation as rich and prosperous and successful as ours. The fundamental thing that has been missing is a mechanism to ground truth, the smart, well-meaning ideas that are developed in Canberra. That's what this referendum is about. This referendum is we, the Parliament, saying to the Australian people, we want your permission to crack on and set up this body. We want your permission to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the Constitution. We want you to join us and help us complete our Constitution.